Welcome Space Cadets to Kerbal Space Program 2. This is the early access version of the game. Very, very disappointing launch, I've got to say. Extremely disappointing. It just really was so buggy at launch, and there has been a few patches. I've been sort of playing it every so often just to sort of see if the patches are really sort of solving a lot of the issues, and a little bit, you know, like it really hasn't been, like it just, the development has been really poor in terms of being able to address all of the different issues that have actually come ever since it went into early access, and we've now got a fairly major patch. So this is KSP2 update version 0.1.5.0. So it's sort of like looks like a fairly major sort of iteration. This is the patch before they release the sort of exciting For Science update for the game, which is a fairly major milestone for the game. And so this one's it's saying hello Kerbal Nauts, some blah blah blah, making through there, and it's just going to go through. Basically, we're going to now have like a science way of playing the game, which looks it does look good from what I've seen of this aspect of it. So I'm actually really looking forward to this. Yeah, like that's going to come in December of 2023, so it's on its way. But do I have faith that it's going to be handled well? No. to be perfectly honest, just based on the other stuff, like they fix one thing and break two things, that type thing. That seems to be sort of what's happened with the patches. It's just a real, I don't know, it must be hard for them, but God, it's just painful to actually trying to be playing the game. The only real way that you should play the game, and I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to be doing a little bit of a run through with it as well in this particular session, but I thought I'd just go through the summary of the news about the game at this point in time, and then sort of go from there. But the thing I am, I guess, disappointed with is, or one of the ways that you can sort of get around some of the issues, is to just save all the time, and then when things, not if things go wrong, when things go wrong, close it down, basically reopen up a save game and then play from there, because sometimes that will fix the problem for whatever reason. And the devs just aren't able to sort of really find the little problems. I was even practicing it before starting to do this video, and it was horrific. I've got to say, the changes with 1.5, I was thinking, what the hell? And then I reloaded in a file to do a recording of it, and then it worked perfectly. It's just crazy. It's so frustrating. Such a frustrating development of this particular game. I don't like the devs seem to be sort of happy with where things are with it, from what they sort of say. They can't be happy with what's going on. And I really hope this game is successful in the long term, because it's the KSP1 was such a good game. And it had a lot of iterations going through, and they're certainly tackling things a different way with KSP2, which is exciting. Even with the For Science sort of approach, it's actually a better approach than what KSP1 had, if the design requirements or the design vision matches what's actually then built. And I don't have faith that it will match, that the build will match the actual design, the design process. So anyway, we've got like the exploration is coming. It's going to have a whole lot of different other science parts, and it's going to be. This is looking really good, I got to say. Again, just from what I've seen, I get excited when I see the promise. Again, the design vision for the game is exceptional. Like, it really is so cool. It's the execution that is just always lets you down. But this is looking very, very good with everything in through here. It's sort of more intricate to a large degree, but also much more controllable. Like, they've got different sorts of different ways of actually managing your and better ways of managing the science. The science was tacked on to KSP1 as a bit of an afterthought. It wasn't part of the original plan for the game, and so it was just a bit of okay, plug this bit in, then plug this bit in, and plug that bit in. At least I've been able to have a look at this one from in a more holistic way, and come up with a design direction for the way that they want it to work. And that design direction is so much better than KSP1. So I'm really looking forward to seeing this one in December, but I don't have faith that it's going to be executed. And I'll just go through. Maybe we'll get some issues that do go through. The tech tree is really interesting as well. The tech tree is interesting because it's handled. I can sort of, even though it's only sort of small on the screen here, I can show you sort of what goes on. There's 4 different phases to it, and it's very hard to read this, but I think all you have to do is get to the last stage through this tech tree here, not unlock all of this to then unlock the next version. So this is level 1, where the Mun landing is like, sort of like the epitome of that particular first level, and then it goes into level 2, and then you go through. But so you can skip straight through to get to level 4 relatively quickly, but you then don't get to unlock all these other different bits and pieces. So it's a bit of it gives a lot of agency and a lot of choice to the player. And this is a much better way of doing things than what they had before. So you end up with 4 different tech trees based on what you're doing. So I've got to say, I really like this. I like, again, the design direction and the design plan for the game is exceptional. Like, it really is so cool. This is brilliant what they've got in here. And I think, look, this one should perform. It's just the actual game itself that just doesn't perform well. Mission control is now also going to be added in. Mission control, now that they've simplified this to a large degree, where you're only dealing with science now. You're not dealing with money and science, and I think that's a really good move, because let's face it, when you played KSP1 and you had the money and the science and you're trying to sort of juggle both, it was just you ended up sort of just milking things to try to sort of get one or the other resources. This one you don't have to bother with. So this for me is such a better way to do it. And also you can sort of keep a lot more science. You can do one mission that collects a hell of a lot of science, because there's no limitation on the storage of science that you now can put into your craft, which again makes more sense. And so it means that you can play it your way all the way through without having to sort of like grind. You don't have to do the grindy stuff, I don't think, anyway. So they've looked at all these things. This is what, again, the design direction for the game is looking very cool. Now this is, I don't know why this isn't in the game. I was hoping that they would actually put this one in as a bit of a priority. So heating and thermal. I know that this came relatively late to KSP1, but it's still not in the game yet. But it will be coming apparently with the science update. Now it should just be part of the, it should just be part of the game anyway. But I was hoping that this would be in before now. But anyway, it is on its way. So like heating and re-entry is now going to become a major factor, which would be good. I'm looking forward to that. Wobbly rockets improvements. I was hoping that they would have had this fixed by now as well. So I only build small rockets because of this problem. And more. It's basically just going through different bits in through here as well. So this is the news for the exciting news about what's coming in December. So that's going to be coming in about 6 weeks, I guess, at time of what we're doing through here. Now the other thing that we've got is we now actually have this new update, and this is what I wanted to just test today, and just to see, is it playable now? Is a game worth playing? So we've got the KSP2 update release notes. Construction, re-enabled alt to disable stack attachments. I'm not exactly sure how that one does work. I had a lot of bugs when I started playing the game. All sorts of things just weren't working properly. Very frustrating. I went into this one really hopeful because of what I knew was coming with the For Science update, and so I thought this was going to be like a much more stable build as to where the game currently is, but it's actually less stable than what it was the version before in so many different ways. Increased timeout for fairing and wing edit icons. Okay, so fixed the air brakes, so that I did actually have some problems with the fairings, to be honest, when I was constructing. I'll see if I'll try to construct something else, and we'll just sort of see how we go. Fixed vessels with changed assembly routes, causing failure for surface attached parts. So these are all the things that were fixed. Fixed the triangle panels placed with, I won't worry about these sorts of things. Antennas in through there. Fixed the Pegasus ladder. Blah blah blah. The environmental is has been worked on a lot. Now this is something that that does look very good. So I've got to say that I'm liking what I'm seeing through here. Now I'm playing only on medium. I'm not playing on high level because of the problems that I had originally. Maybe I should try it on high and see how that one actually does work. Improved cloud blending with the atmosphere, but I've got to say it looks good. It does look good. Implementation of biome and triangular mesh bucketing for terrain rendering. The terrain rendering is great as well. I think I brought in one of the modders who had worked on KSP1 and done a lot of work. They brought him in as actually one of the devs on doing this sort of work. Optimized cloud shadows. This is great. So all of this sort of stuff is fantastic. All the different fixes in through there. Flight and map. That should all be okay. FX and audio. Now, I did read that a lot of people are having problems where the sound and the music has gone completely in this version of the game. I didn't have that problem, but that's what I've been reading. Modding, optimization. Yep, so this is, again, a lot of optimization being done in this version, which is good. And this one does seem to be sort of like working okay. It had a few little stutters along the way. I haven't been trying it with the frame per second counter to sort of see how things do work, but they're working very hard on getting the optimization done. Again, I don't know if the game should have gone into early access until they were a lot further along. It still doesn't feel like an early access game to me because there's so many features missing, and also the optimization really still isn't there properly yet, and it's still very, very buggy. I mean, I guess now is sort of like what you'd expect from an early access, but definitely launch wasn't. Launch was frustrating like anything. Parts and stock vessels, so they've adapted a lot of stuff into here. So the list looks impressive. It does look impressive. One of the troubles with the development of KSP2 is that the updates come so rarely that when you have a problem, and if there's a game-breaking problem, and you're wanting to play it, it might be 6 to 8 weeks before you get the next update. Instead of doing a quick patch to fix something, they tend not to do that. They tend to just put it on the list, fix it all up, while for 2 months people can't play the game or can't play it effectively, or it's frustrating as all hell, and then they'll fix it or try to fix it, and then something else will break because of that. That's what it feels like. So it is a very, very frustrating thing. Anyway, there's a fair few things in through there with this update. So with that in mind, let's just go in and play the game. I will actually ramp up a few of the settings so that we can sort of try to see things a little bit more effectively. And we'll do a bit of a deep dive. I might sort of pause some of the recording that we're going to be doing in through here, and just sort of see how it does go. Now I've switched to a different mode. Hopefully this will actually record at it won't stutter in the recordings. It looks good on the screen that I'm sort of seeing through there when these sorts of things do come through. Just go to the settings, and we'll just go through gameplay. Nothing we have to really handle in there at all. The inputs are always useful to sort of know what the inputs are in the game. It can be frustrating when you don't, and it's not the game's fault, it's just it can be frustrating when you are playing a game like this and you're actually not aware of what keyboard shortcuts are going to help you with certain things. So it is worth sort of doing that one. I might just bring the music down, but the music is certainly working for me. I know it's not working for everyone. I'll just bring the music down. Yep, that's okay. I like that they've got so many different ways of actually managing the actual the audio, and the settings are, again, like KSP1, are really, really cool. They're sort of working quite well. Show vessel labels on, temperature gauges off. So again, the heating is not part of the game yet, so who cares? That's going to be okay. Accessibility, I'm just going to keep the text size on medium. Toggle quick load from hold and press. That's okay. And graphics. Now the graphics I've got set to, now I probably should go to borderless. Quite often borderless is a bit more stable, just in terms of being able to record. Look, I'll leave it where it is because it is sort of working. Now the anti-aliasing, I will keep it on low, I think. Although if I put it onto high, maybe what I'll do is I'll actually just go to the quality presets and make them high. That will then change all of these different things down through here. Just see what actually happens. Did it actually do it? No, it's still trying to tweak them all over. I think the game's just broken. No, here we go. So we've got, so that's now sort of set all of these things onto high. So hopefully that will then sort of work out okay. What we might do is we might actually go and, because this is a test to sort of see how things do go, and look, I've got a reasonably good computer, and I know that they've done a lot of work on this. So let's just see if the high settings actually do work for us. And if it doesn't work, then what we'll do is we'll just stop it and then change it back to low again, or medium. Sorry, in through there with the quality presets. If we go back to input, now is there a frames per second, an FPS? Yeah, there it is there. We'll just turn it on in here in this case. So we're just going to have, we can see what the frames per second actually is in through there. And so this will just give us a bit of a feel. Even just looking at the actual KSP launch pad will be probably enough to get a bit of a feel. So you can see there we've got we've got 60 smoothed FPS at this stage, 60 FPS. Okay, that's pretty cool at this stage. But we haven't got much that's really going on with this one. So that's all we need to do there. We'll just go back in and just press escape. And we'll just get into the game. So we'll just play single player. I will delete that campaign. And we'll start a new campaign. And I'll just tweak some of these little things. Not that it really matters that much. We'll just go that way. And we'll just change these colors as well. So we'll go with blue and maybe something a bit darker as well. That's the accent color that we're just going to be working on. Yeah, this one here, we just want this one to be light again. There we go. So we just set those two colors. We can always change these. Now I'm going to turn off the first time user experience. This is a weird one. This option cannot be disabled for a campaign once enabled. Why the hell not? Why the hell not? You should be able to turn that off. The game should do better than that. I was surprised at that when I first got access to it from before launch. I'm thinking, oh, that's just got to be something that they'll get rid of. Because if you forget to turn that off and you don't want to go through all the rigmarole, too bad. You've got it. So they've got to do better than that. Just change this one as well. DasTactic Space Agency. There we go. So the campaign name will just be Tester. That'll do. There we go. And difficulty just on normal. That'll be fine as well. So we'll start our campaign. And we'll just watch like the FPS as different things sort of then work. So we've got like 50 odd FPS while things are loading in, which is okay. When the graphics do come in, it's going to be the launch that's going to be the most like the thing that I'm most interested to see what it actually does do with the FPS. Right, so it went down to 24, but then straight back up to 60. That's actually not bad. That's actually good. So I'm sort of happy with that because this is actually a 3D environment that we're looking at through here. Let's try the VAB. So 60 FPS all the way through, down to 43, but again, doesn't really matter that much. Now, that was loading in faster this time than what it did the first time I loaded in, so I'm thinking that it may cache some of the aspects. Let's just build ourselves a fairly simple rocket. So we've got this one in through here, coming back in. So we'll build one that just is going to go to the Mun and back, I think. So we'll just go back to our parachutes, do an extra small parachute on top. Then we'll put even though there's no heat yet, I do think it's a good idea to just get into the habit of putting heat shields on the craft. There we go. Now, this was one of the problems I had, was it didn't then disconnect from the next portion down. So I've got that portion, I've got the heat shield ready to go, but then what we need to do is we need to then decouple this from whatever's coming in below it. So if we go back to our decouplers, we've got stack decouplers. This is a one-sided detachment device made for small rockets. Maybe it's got to be the two-sided. So we go with this one here. This is a stack separator. Yeah, maybe that would be the better way to do this. So we're going to be separating from both, which is what that little arrow is. If I just get rid of that, throw that one back in there and put this one on, it should be separating from the top. But what it did is it actually did separate, but it left this little ring here. And I will leave it because this one should be okay. This one should be fine for what it's doing. And so this one just leaves a ring in space. This one actually just detaches from above, but it didn't get rid of that little fairing that was actually at the top there. All right, then let's just get a little bit of fuel. Now we'll probably we'll make this into a lander. I guess we'll go to the Mun. Why not? So what we need here is if you need fuel tanks. Now, I don't know if all of this is working properly yet with your meters per second. Let's go with not the super small, but this one here. Let's go and use that as our lander aspect. We'll use only a small engine, so we'll just use the Terrier engine back in through this other side. Now this is actually where the engineer report, I think we'll be getting a lot of see, it says that this one is another problem. So command pod is missing a heat shield. It's not missing a heat shield. I've put the heat shield on it. So why does it think that? When I do that, it still thinks it's not there. So who knows? Anyway, that's sort of what's happening through there. Now we need to actually make sure that our thrust to weight ratios are sort of working out okay. We can see that we've got this one, we've got the stack separated through there, which is fine, that's separate again. Then we've got the engine back down through this other side. Let's go and make it so we can actually land. So we'll just go back into ground and we'll just use smalls, I guess. Yeah, the small will do. Just press X and get 4 of these. So the X should show 4. That's only 3 at the stage, that's 4 there. Where's the number 4 gone? Used to be at the bottom there, but it's no longer there. Okay, we've got that one through there. Now the ladder, this is the steps into the side. We're going to need to have a ladder that then goes back out from here. So we'll just go down to where the ladders actually are. Here they are. And then Shift X, just to get it back down to 1. Just place that one there. So that one should sort of work. So that'll be part of on the separator, and if we just extend that one down, just to have a bit of a look. So extend the part. It's going to be a little bit off the ground, but that'll be okay. That'll still work out fine. So we'll just unextend that one. All right, that's fine. Now we're seeing it's missing RCS. Precision maneuvering for docking will be difficult. Doesn't matter. Thrust to weight ratio is less than 1. Vehicle will not leave the launch pad. This is for Earth, and so it's still, this is where we used to be able to set where we were doing things, like with the pass manager, the trip planner, one-way trip. So if we go from, and this is where you can't change this. Like it's not, you can't set where you're actually going to. Now if we go to the MUN, I can't change it to go back from the MUN to Kerbal, which is frustrating because it's completely different delta V to go from Kerbal to the MUN as it is to come back, and so the delta V is the change of velocity. So this is again where I'm hoping that they fix this up and make this much more friendly than what we have, because we only have to get off the. Well, we have to land and then get back off the surface again. Anyway, I'll pause this and I'll just keep on building and then just do a bit of a report as to what I've built. Oh, there's the number down here. So that's it there. It was there. Yeah, so these fairings weren't disappearing. So they were actually staying up all the time, which I don't know why that was the case. Anyway, I'll continue on. Yeah, no, this was when I first was building before. This is actually, these fairings apparently have been fixed a little bit. So let's just go and add these in. If we just go into here and then just come back out a little bit and just start to actually build these just to cover what's happening in through this other side. We don't want to go too far up, just as far as that. Add another one and then just go up. Just have a bit of a look and see where we're going. And from there we should be able to now start to bring that one forward, plus and in. Nothing's breaking through. Now, this one, I don't know how to finish this one off at this point. Like if I press escape, nothing happens. I don't know what to do other than if I pick another element, it will then do it. But so it did. Oh, hang on, maybe it's this. Oh, there we go. Okay, that one does do it. I can still now right click on this one. So that's the fuel tank. We want to just get the fairing itself. So this is the cockle shell. We've got different. This is a clamshell × 4. We've got different types of fairings in through there. So we've got X3, X2, just a shroud itself, or none. So we can sort of have. In fact, none should be. Then hang on, that's it enabled. Yes, we can turn it on or off just so we can still sort of work on the craft. But the actual deployment type, if we go to X4, and the ejection force, I might just give it just raise that a little bit to say 200 kilonewtons, just so it goes off a little bit faster. There that will do. All right, so that's just going to be the ejection force. So again, I love all of the stuff that's shown in here. It just doesn't do a hell of a lot with it. So anyway, that's going to be the top of the rocket. Now let's go and get our craft to be able to then fly to the MUN. So we'll just now go back across. In fact, we've got I do actually have a fairing. I don't think I've got, we've got a decoupler there with the fairing underneath that, which is fine. And so we can now just start to build the next part of the rocket. So we'll just go back into our fuel tanks. Let's get another small at this stage. And again, just a small engine will be fine. We're just looking for something that's got a fairly good ISP. So this one here, if we have a look at the ISP in a vacuum, it's 335. This is just how much fuel we're going to be using. That one is 305, 320. This one's good, but it's actually, the trouble with this one is it's just so, it takes up so much space. Like that one's quite a big engine at the bottom, even though it's got very, very good ISP in a vacuum. So I prefer to keep it fairly narrow. This one's only got 60 kilonewtons of thrust in a vacuum. That one's even got less actually. So I think I'll still just go with the Terrier engine, same as what we've got in the top section. But this will be just to get us to the Mun. Then what we have to do is to get another of the separators. Just keep on getting more of these. Actually, I'll just pause again while I build the rest of this. Actually, no, we're almost done. Right, back to our fuel tanks again, because we're just going to now do the bottom section. I want this to flare out now to a medium. So I'm just going to go into there, because we just now need to just get something that's going to then lift this thing off the surface and then back up into space, literally just to get us into our initial orbit. This one here will be enough to take us easily to the moon, to the Mun, and then we want to get a largish fuel tank in through this side. That's probably almost enough. You can see there the delta V so far of the whole rocket is 2,433. I'm going to need to have, like, there will be, from what I saw, there's going to be a lot more information that will then come off the side here. I don't know exactly how we see that one, but that will be coming in December, which would be great. Now, as far as the engines, the medium engine, the one that I want to use is probably this one here, the mainsail, which has got the maximum thrust, atmospheric thrust is 1,381, which I think is more than most of the others. Yeah, the others are nowhere near as strong. So let's just go this way. Just grab that one onto there. And now we can sort of see that the delta V is now 5,970, which now this delta V again only applies to Earth, to Kerbal. So if we go back to the engineer's report, missing RCS, don't need the RCS on this one, and again the heat shield is a bug. Now we've got just go to the trip planner again. So it's going to take 3,400 to get into low Kerbal orbit. So we're going from Kerbal to the Mun. Again, this is not anywhere, like, we should be able to pick and choose what's going to go on where. Need to have 860. So we need, we've got 5,970, and it's saying that we need 5,120. So we've got a fair bit extra, so we don't need all of that one. So to go into the now to go down to the surface, 580, we may struggle getting back off, but we'll see how we go. So anyway, this will do us. I mean, I just want to see what the terrain looks like and so on and so forth. So we'll then go back across. Also, it always goes to fly safe. I wish that they would now change that to something different. Mun lander will do. So we'll just save that one away. And it's so important to be saving what you're doing in this game now. It's just so buggy. Like, it's not as buggy as it was at launch, but it still is very, very buggy. Let's just go back across, just get our stabilizers. Also just go with a medium, I guess. We're not going to need a medium. Probably it's just a small. And again, just press X just to get 4 of those. Yeah, we can see the number down there now. It was always there. That was user error on my part. Okay, so that's now the stabilizing fins at the back. That's it. That should get us to the Mun and back. So let's just do the mission and see how we go. So again, save it, save, yes, go over the top. So at least we've now got this one saved away. We'll now go out to the launch pad, and we'll just watch the KSP, the FPS, not the KSP, the FPS, sort of what it does now, 25, 36, 60s. Now, what we don't want to see is it getting it much below 10. If it would be good. Now, as I sort of scroll around, start to sort of right click to move around, that all looks pretty damn good. Okay, let's just click on the go. And we'll see the clouds look very, very good. The trees look great. Let's just see how we go with high graphics. 60 FPS, great. That often didn't do this, guys. That is impressive. Just going to start to lay it over a little bit. This is very stable. See how wobbly it is though. The wobble has not been fixed. Now we're 2 kilometers up. Let's just move it over. We're going through that low cloud. Oh, that looks great. And really, we haven't dropped much below the 60 FPS. Okay, that is a win. That is a big win, guys. Now we want to just check and see our ApoApps. I want to sort of be laying this one over a fair way before we run out of fuel with this one. And I want to be in orbit basically from this particular, using this particular bottom stage here. Okay, FPS hasn't changed at all. Now I'm just going to press X when we get up to around about say 80. Okay, so this is now we've got an 80. This should come back. Now if I'm just going to press Escape, I'm going to save the game. Actually, that should have paused there. I'm just going to save it because this is the sort of time when just things go crazily wrong at different times with the game. But it's looking good, looking very, very good, looking very stable, 60 frames per second all the way through. Have a quick look at our map. This is good as well. Looking great. Got all the clouds there. So we're heading up towards the ApoApps. Now when we get to around about a minute out, I'm going to start to then play with the ship. So we'll just go and press M again. So we're now 50 kilometers up. We're sort of now into the high atmosphere. I'm just going to lay this one over. It's going to take a lot because the only reaction wheel I have is in the top of it. So I'm just going to push this one over a little bit and just get it on. So it's just going horizontal. Now we're 1 minute 21 seconds away. Maybe if I go to around about say 30 seconds from the ApoApps. I don't want to be pointing down. I want to be pointing back up. And then I just want to just ease out the periapsis. And actually, I still want to get the ApoApps maybe up a little bit as well. Okay, we're still a minute. Let's just press Shift, just with a very, very slow 5%. So that is increasing very, very slowly. This one's going backwards, but this is now coming back up as well. So that's what we want to be getting. So when this gets down to about, say, 30 seconds, I'll just keep it sort of just moving across. But the frame rate hasn't changed. That I am really, really happy about that. 35, let's just up this a little bit. Till we start to see this thing start to just, sort of look after itself a little bit through here. 25, let's get it a little bit faster. 23, 22 seconds to the ApoApps. Blast this one a bit more now. 15 seconds, 13 seconds. Really start to now push it. It's now stable at 12. And as we come up, it's now coming out. So let's now just bring it back a bit. And this one's coming up now. So let's just ease it through. Ease it through. It's almost now past the surface. Okay, we're 48 seconds away. Let's just keep it going here. If you let that go too far away from your ApoApps, it'll be hard to circularize because you'll be wanting to push further out than what it actually is. So we only have a very small amount. Now, I've only got a small amount. This actually worked out very, very well. God, I'm good at this game. I'm so good at this game. Let's just keep on moving that one across to the horizon again. It's flaring out a little bit. Whoops. Now we're actually in orbit, so technically we're actually okay at this point in time. Now we've actually gone past it, but I can actually go back to the map if I've got any sort of qualms. But I'm actually happy with, because we're now out, as long as we're above 70 in both of these, the periapsis, or if the periapsis is above 70, it means we're in an orbit. It doesn't have to be a great orbit. So what we'll do now is let's just go and attempt. Now we need to save again. So escape, save game. You've got to do this so often. It's painful that it's just so buggy that you need to make these sorts of requirements. Now I'm going to release the actual engine. Now, see how this wobble up as well? It's trying to keep stable because I've got this this on here, the stability. If I turn that off, it will sort of it won't jiggle around that much. Let's press the space. So space is going to get rid of this next element. That's all fine, that's okay. Everything else is still looking good there. So with this next part of the rocket, the next thing that's going to be then apparently sort of going is the fairing from here. So I can push the fairing because it's not a decoupler. Let's just do that. It should have fired. There we go. That looks so much better as well. Now, it used to be that these things just drop straight down. That's no longer the case. That has been now fixed. That's good as well. So that works. Now let's just press T again and just sort of keep it so that we can then just get it to where we want it to be pointing. And again, the shadows are looking good as well. Like this is looking very, very cool. I've got to say, I'll just get that one so that it's just pointing in the positive direction. So let's now just go and plan our maneuvers with what's going to happen here. Now we do actually have electrical, so let's just go and press the electrical because we're now in space, so we can sort of now get these things coming up. The electrical does require recharging now, so this is good as well. So that one I think was back there in a previous version, but that way then just gets us so at least we can now sort of, now when the engines are running, that sort of fixes itself up anyway. So this was all clean. This was good so far. This one separated properly. It looks like the bugs that I had the first time I played it is actually not there, which is awesome. Let's just go back into our planner. So we'll just go back into the map mode. Now, the MUN is right here. So let's just go and we'll meet that one. What we want to do is we want to be pushing essentially out to try to meet it over here. So let's just go across and set up a maneuver plan. Now, I did read that some people were having problems with this as well, but I thought they'd actually fixed most of these up fairly recently. Now it's going to then get into an orbit. There we are. All right, so this is the orbit that we've now got coming back through. Now, we don't have to get this one exact, but I can sort of now just maneuver this one around and just sort of see what happens, you know, where we end up sort of getting the best. I think that's about there is going to be the optimum. And from there, we can just start to sort of try to tweak and see what happens if we sort of push it in a bit closer. It's got... Okay, the delta V that we've got left here is 1,243. This one will be only 852, so we can certainly, that's going to be an easy one for us. Now, if we can get this one sort of fairly close to the actual, to that one there, that will do there, I think. This is only going to be 848 delta V to that point. So with that one there, the burn timer is start the burn in basically in 20 minutes. With what's actually going on. So let's just zoom out around to the other side over through here. So we'll just leave that one where that one actually is. We're just going to go and press, if we go back to the map. So we're now on the dark side of the planet, and we're just going, or getting in towards the dark side. We're just going to go in and click on so that we're actually pointing in the direction of our maneuver node, which ultimately will be just that one through there. And really at this stage, we can then just accelerate up to there. So if we just go and warp to maneuver, just watch the FPS, not too bad, still 60 all the way through. I am impressed with that. Okay, I'm impressed with that. So we're now at the maneuver node. So we're 48 seconds away from where we're going. We're pointing in the right direction, and now we just have to, it's not going to, oh, there's the, there's the default name too. I'm not sure what that is. Oh, that's actually the rubbish that was left. Okay, so this is actually all of the fairings, I think. So now what's good about this is that the burn time is actually when you start the burn. It's not the middle of the burn, which is what it used to be. And I think it calculates from the correct engine now as well. So we haven't fired this engine properly yet. Now if I press Z, I think it's just going to fire. So we'll just let it come back down. And I will literally just look at this as it does go through. So I'm just going to go full bore in through here. It's now coming back down. We may be able to get very close to the surface with this rocket before we have to then ditch it. So this is a very, very weak engine, but very high ISP. Actually, that went down to 56. It did look like it started there for a split second when I was sort of zooming in and quickly flicked around, but it's now looking okay again. It's stabilized. I'm impressed, I've got to say, with what we're seeing here. This is actually very, very cool. It looks very cool. So we're leaving all that stuff behind. 27 seconds to go. Have a quick look at what's happening. This is where this is our area. That's good as well. Good reaction. Very, very good reaction. Now we don't have to be right on the money here, but I'll just get the X key ready, just to shut it down. 4, 3, 2, 1, stop. Okay, done. So we should now be. We can now get rid of this. What does that do? Okay, that's done. So we now actually have our entry point through here, and then we actually have the other bits and pieces. So let's just go onto the inside here. We'll just time warp to this point. And there we go. Now, I didn't watch the FPS. I should have watched that. Anyway, you'll be able to sort of see what actually happened through there. Now that's where is the mun? There it is. So we're now inside. Now we've got our the orbit should no longer be decaying either. So that should have been fixed. So that would be good. We've still got a fair bit of fuel left in here. 383 fuel, delta V of fuel. Change in velocity. Now what we're going to be doing here is just tweaking. I can just do this one manually. So I'm just going to go and point this one away. So we're going to go and point retrograde, which means that we're going to flip the ship around so that it will then be pointing away from where we're coming in with our angles. And if we then just have a look at the periapsis, so I want the periapsis to essentially come down to around about, say, 30, 40, maybe even just down to, say, 20 or something, just so we can sort of get into a bit of an orbit. So I'm just going to now start to press the shift key and just bring up this one and to let this one come back down. So the periapsis will then sort of be the one that then flips. You can see things are flipping around all over the place as we do this. So we're slowing down. It's easier to slow down from further away. You can sort of do more with it. So we're seeing all sorts of different re-entries and stuff as we do that. Going all over the place. It's weird, actually. 300. These are different sorts of entry points that are going back out. So I think I'll keep it to. I might bring it the periapsis, which is the closest point to the surface, down to around about what should we bring it out to? To around about, say. I'll bring it out to about 30. Okay, we're seeing other ones in through this other side. So all we're doing is bringing the periapsis down at this point in time. Here we are running out of delta V here. We may have to use some of our fuel. We may not get back in time. see how it works. Just slow this thing down a bit now. 98. And I'll press X at around about, say, 30. Yeah, it looks like I didn't bring quite enough fuel with me. And I might stop at about 40. Okay, so let's just stop that at, say, 40 because we're running out. We've only got 165 delta V. What I'll now do is I'll just go back across to the periapsis and create a maneuver plan in through here, click on it, and then just go retrograde until we actually end up getting a bit of an orbit. Now this is going to cost me 50. I've got 165 to spend. And the apoaps will then come in to about that point there. 195, that's actually more than what we actually have. So let's not worry about that one too much. In fact, what we could do would be to just do our landing. So let's do that. Let's actually come back in. Let's do another save, just in case something goes crazy. It's been good. It's actually been good this time around. Okay, we'll just confirm that save. Actually, I'm saving over the top of other things, which I shouldn't be doing. So we'll allow that to actually sort of happen. So we'll start to burn. I'll start to burn in around here, I think. So I will actually just ditch that. So let's go and create a time warp to this point here. Now hopefully we can plan this so that we're actually going on the, now again I didn't watch the FPS, I keep on forgetting to do it. We're going to keep on going retrograde the whole time. And I'm just going to go and press, and I don't really want to be landing on the dark side. So I'm just going to go and start to just burn actually. And we should see this thing come back in around. We're doing the sun so far away. Periapsis is coming down too much. Let's just let that one go. We'll just warp into. Actually, I'll just go back to the map again. 57. That was good. It handled that one pretty well. Now the periapsis is 27. We're at 72. Let's just speed up. The time frame 57 again FPS, which is not too bad. Just go pretty fast. It is a beautiful looking program, I've got to say. Just come back out to normal time. Oh, we can pause the game. I didn't realise we could pause it, actually. Of course, there's a pause key right there. So we'll just keep it going in retrograde. And we've only got 86 delta V left. Now, if I burn from here, I should be able to then push this one so that we end up coming in on the light side. So let's just warp to this point. 43 was the lowest I saw there, which is not too bad. All right, so we're now back out through here. We've still got our delta V sort of happening. Now let's just go and tweak this one so we end up burning and coming in somewhere on the surface. So we'll just go and press shift. This way the periapsis will start to come back in as we do this one, and we want to sort of get like a bit of a crash. Actually, I might just press X there. There we go. We've got the crash happening right there at this stage. If I wait till we come up a bit further, let's just time warp to that point. I can then bring it back a little bit more so that we end up a little bit in the middle of the light side. So that will do us. We'll just press shift. Again, we're pointing the right way. And we'll see this sort of creep around the surface. I think in here looks pretty cool. That'll do. So now we'll do the landing. So let's just go and press escape. We'll save again just in case something goes wrong. This time I will actually save it something unique. So everything is now set up for us to come back in, and we still want to just keep this one pretty much pointing retrograde at this stage. When we get, I want to burn off, I've only got 44 delta V, but I want to be slowing the ship down as we come in a bit closer. So we will just go back into this mode. Oh, damn it. That's why we do it. That's why we do it, because we needed to load that one back in. I was just testing. Let's see what happens when we load it in. Hopefully it'll all work out okay. I pressed the space bar, and I should have been doing other things. Now it's remembered pretty much everything. It's just, I meant to speed up time. So we've got 1 minute 51. Oh, hang on, it's this one here. No, that's the apoapse. It's going out. Doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense there. This is the distance above the kilometres so far. We're a long way up. Now we're going to be coming in pretty hot because we've started so high up. So I do want to use this all up just to slow us down, but we can't be too close to the surface. Yeah, this here is actually good for us to see. And we're going through around the dark side. Let's just correct again. Have a quick look and see. Now that's not what we should be seeing. Oh, we're in an eclipse. A total eclipse. Okay, well, we'll wait for that to come out. Yeah, so just to explain what's happening through there, if we line up Kerbal with everything, we'll be right behind it. So we're actually the Mun is actually in an eclipse, but it will come out at some point. Where is it? There it is. I don't want to be landing during the eclipse, but I've got no choice. Okay, so let's just speed up time again until we get to maybe about sort of like 50 kilometers up or something. Come on, planet, light up. See how we go. 100 kilometers. Right, now coming back in. So we'll just set this one up. Now we can't see anything simply because of this bloody eclipse. What a pain. All right, so it's come at the worst possible time. Now our orbit is we're coming in basically at 577 meters per second. So I'll wait until we're about 50 kilometers, and then I'm going to burn the rest of this delta V in through here. So we'll just give that a really strong burst. Again, the frames per second have been exceptionally good. So that is a good sign. So let's go and burn this one now, I guess. That's all we've got. Now we press space. It then jettisons that bit of it away. And that all looks very, very good. Now we can't see a lot of the stuff in through here. I'm going to have to bring in the panels for the landing. We've still got full electrics, which is great. We have to press G, get our landing gear out. So that's now ready to go. We're ready to sort of come into our landing spot, which we don't know exactly where that will be. And come on, eclipse. Get back in from around there. Now we've got lights on the inside. in there. In fact, there he is, just in that little area. I don't know if we can see I've just turned the lights off. That's okay. The gear is out. This is good. This was not working before, actually, all this well. 40 kilometers up. Have a quick look and see where we're now going to be landing. Now, that means we're going to be landing in here somewhere in reality. Now, the orbital speed, we're going to need to drop this one a lot, and then we're going to have to sort of come straight down at some point. So we could even start to do that one fairly soon. I'm impressed. Look, this particular run, I was very unimpressed with my first little test at it before recording this, but everything has gone well in this one, which I am happy with. So that is good. And are we seeing anything? Nope, no other changes there. We're still in full eclipse mode, so we don't have any lights. So I'll put the lights back on again on the inside, so that we can see much. You can just see the top of his head inside there, moving around. 600 meters per second. We're 20 kilometers up. I'm going to change this to just SAS, and we're just going to now push this one back and rotate it so that we're on the 270, just so we can sort of get this one. And I'm just going to rotate this one around to around about, actually I'll just do it so that it's this way. There we go. Okay, let's now give it a good blast. And what we want to do is we want to see this go up, straight up. Oh, we have to turn that one on. So we want to sort of stop. Or close to it. Unfortunately, we're using up a lot of our... Whoa, what happened there? What the hell happened there? Oh, I hit the ground. I didn't even see it. God, I was looking at the surface. I was looking at the surface speed. I wasn't looking at the the level above ground. We will load that one in. So we'll just go and close that. Press escape. Try again. Load game. Load the game in. Now, unfortunately, we still have this. We're going to be doing this in the dark. Let me pause until everything sort of comes back in again. Yeah, so this is just prior to the eclipse. So it's not in eclipse mode just yet. Let's just speed up time and just watch it go under. In fact, let's watch what happens to the Mun as this goes faster. A bit of both. So we'll watch that as it gets closer and closer. Just go a little bit faster again. It's right on the edge now. Does it just turn off like a light, or does it slowly go over like it would in reality? Just pause for a second, have a quick look and see how far we're close. We're still... Actually, I might let it go forward this way. Till it's just touching. Right, now we'll watch it. It's a shame it's coming in right at this time. Worst possible timing for this. Oh wow, it's actually changing colour. Just speed it up. Wow, look at that. That is awesome. as it disappears behind there, this is just getting darker and darker. Well, I am impressed. I am completely impressed with that. Whoops, press the M key instead. And now it's basically almost completely dark. Wow, that is impressive. Okay, this is good. We're seeing good stuff in here. I'm going to have to do this one blind. I'm going to have to use the ground, and I'm going to have to use the orbits. So we'll do the same sort of deal where I just go back in as close as I can. So I'll just time warp into here. And then I'm just going to go back into this other side, and I will just do as much stopping in through here as I possibly can. I might as well just do it now, and then we'll just use this ground measure to sort of see how we go. Now we've got the sea level or the ground level below us, and this is the ground level is the important one that we need to use. So we'll now just go back and reset yet again on the 270. Back in through here again, and rotate that one around. Lack of stellar exposure, that's okay. So that's the that's just notifications. Just going to bring the lights in. Just keep that one sort of so that we're right on that limit there. Just get the WASD key so we're sort of lined up. Let's give this one a good burst now. So we're still a long way up. So that one then stops. And then we just want to drop that one off now, I think. So we'll press space. We need to sort of slow down a bit. We want the retrograde to be near the top, like that. So we're 40 kilometers up, coming in very, very hot. Now we click on retrograde, get our gear out, and we're just going to have to do this one by the numbers. We're not going to get off from here. Again, I'm looking at the FPS. I'm happy with the FPS. We want to get this one down to around about 100, so we'll just go and press shift. Start to sort of, and we're going to not have enough to get off this. So we're coming in. So we've brought our speed right down now, but at the expense of a lot of delta V. Now that one eventually, as we sort of come in slower, that will then sort of, we're going to accelerate more and more as we come towards the ground, but we're still 24 kilometers up, and we're not going to get off, I don't think. I think we're doomed to be sitting here. I was impressed, I've got to say, with that eclipse. That did look very, very cool. We can just sort of keep it this way as long as we just manage our speed. We're still 20 kilometers up. Let's just speed it up now so that we end up coming in at around about, say, 10 kilometers, although this is now flaring right out again. So we'll just keep that one coming. Under 10 kilometers. Eight kilometers. We're down to 100 meters per second, and we're now sort of coming straight down. So as long as we've got it going on retrograde, we're actually okay. 7 kilometers up, but we're nearly completely out of fuel. 130. I think I can afford to let it go down a little bit more. Let's get ready with the X. Yeah, I can do this one fairly readily. Just got to hope that we can land. God, I wish we had lights. It's bad just doing it with these numbers. So we're 2 kilometres up now, travelling quite fast. 1 kilometre, let's go. Looking at this number, looking at this number. Oh, damn, it still went too fast. I can't see the ground. Anyway, that was problematic. I lost track of how far high up I was. I sort of was. Anyway, I think we're done. I think we've done enough to see that. Yeah, look, it's getting there. It's getting there. I did certainly have a hell of a lot of problems with my first little run of this one, but this one actually went pretty smoothly. I was very impressed with the frames per second. I've got to say, I'm absolutely blown away by that because it was so bad before, like it was terrible. Other than that, like it has been pretty damn good. Just wish we had light here. I'll just close that one off. But yeah, unfortunately, we just can't see a single thing here because of that damn eclipse came at just the wrong time for us. I could probably go back to one of my other saves. Load a game. Where's the other ones? Got auto saves. There were. Then we had the. That one there. I think we're still in orbit there. So let's just load this one in. See if I can do it. In this case, I'm way back to here. This is where my other save was. So I'm just going to come in. I'm going to get into a weird sort of orbit and through here just by burning all of my delta V from this one. Then we'll ditch this particular part of the craft. So we'll just zoom into this particular one. I'll just do it all from here. We need to make sure that we're selecting the maneuver node. Okay, we've got 39 seconds before we do it. Might as well do it from here, I guess. Just look at the pretty graphics. I mean, it is a beautiful program. I'm actually really glad that it's been more stable than what I thought it was going to be for this recording. I am quite happy with that, and could very readily have fun with this game, which is good. I'm just going to let this one blare away. And really, we're just going to let this thing completely run out of delta V because that's all we had left. It was enough just to get into the orbit. And from there, we can then ditch that portion. This is good. This is sort of what should be happening. So it didn't do this last time. And now we're ready to go around twice. So let's do that. So we'll just go and press M. So what we'll do is I'll just let it do its thing twice. Actually, I better just go and get rid of that maneuver node. And yeah, we'll just leave it sort of locked in. And so we'll watch the sun go down behind the mun, and we'll just do as many loops as it takes. So we're in the dark side now. Now the other sides we're going to be coming through fairly shortly. There it is. So it's getting closer and closer. We'll do one more loop. That's where we crashed last time. It's interesting, it's still miles away. Oh no, there it is. Just let it keep on doing its stuff. So I probably could have landed. By the time we come back out, it's then going to be in eclipse. The frame rate hasn't changed, which is very cool. There we go. And it looks like we're just coming out of it now. Okay, so the eclipse has just finished, I think. So while we were in the dark side, the Mun was in eclipse. Now let's have a look. And so if we just go back in now, we'll do another save. Save game. And I will just call it this one here now. Save over the top. Confirm. So we should now be safe. So what we want to do now is we want to burn, and this is, we're not going to get off here, unfortunately, but we'll just see if we can get the landing done. So I'll just go retrograde. So that will then spin around. Looks like it already is retrograde pretty much. And just go back to the map and just watch where we're going to then come in. And we're in more than one. Okay, game unpaused. Whoops, a bit too much. Okay, so we'll now just zoom into, say, here. And we'll then just come in and do what we have to do. So we'll just go into time warp to that point. And technically all we have to do is literally just keep it on retrograde, and that will sort of do what we have to do. It's just that we're going to get faster and faster. Put the gear out, just in case we fall over. Let's just go and take these solar panels back in. All right, we are ready. So at least we can now see what's going on. Now I'll try to get, that's still orbital speed. Let's just speed up time a little bit till we get to around about, say, 20 kilometers. Since the game's paused, but it's not. All right, so let's now start this process. And unfortunately we're going to be burning through this delta V chronically. I'll just keep it on that level and just let this thing sort of go up its own way. Yeah, we didn't bring anywhere near enough fuel. And if we can get the orbit down to 0, that means that we're sort of then just falling straight down. That'll do. Now we can just go and get it so it's close to that. We've still got an orbital mechanic to it. If we click on that one, that's just now going to be the surface. I'll just keep it on the surface there. So now we sort of should be coming almost straight down. Here we are. So that's where we are. And our speed is actually not too bad at the moment. That will change. At least we can see everything now. We're still 8 kilometers up. I'm terrible at this game, but I do love it. I mean, I love doing this sort of stuff, and I don't know why. I just really enjoy it. But I'm not good at it. All right, so we'll just let it come back down. I don't think we're going to get off the surface. I think we're only just going to have enough to basically just land. Now we're up to 165. Should bleed off this a little bit. We want to be under 10 over here, but we don't want to be too close to the ground before we get to there. Yeah, this has all been changed on the surface here. 200, 100. Good. Bit of a burst. And just put the stabilizers on. Well, we've got our landing. That's good. We've got 335 delta V. That's not going to be enough to do anything. So we're stuck here. Look, I might as well get out of here while we can. Let's just go and press the, look, we've got the stabilizers on, so let's just go and try to sort of get the ship so it's at least pointing up, directly up. So we're looking at this. That'll keep it sort of fairly stable. Now this is going to go out, so let's now go and let these go out. So that one works. So we now have everything we sort of need in through there. Let's go and let the landing gear, this one through here. We'll just go and extend. Cool, that's done. And we'll get Jeb back out of there. And gee, it's a bit rocky. I think his weight is just pushing it over a little bit. Yeah, that's okay. So he's on the surface. This is the, I think these have changed a little bit. So we've got better terrain. I don't know if you can walk on it. No, it just clips through. That's okay. It's still that's still all right. I don't mind that. Okay, so we'll put the flag out. Landing. Here I am. Come and get me. Yeah, we had a different flag, I thought. Anyway, that's cool. So, so he's basically here stuck on the surface. We're not going to get him off. We would have to then do a rescue mission. So let me know in the comments if you are interested in me, building a bigger ship and then coming and trying to pick him up. As I say, I do like doing it, but but I know that I'm painful doing it because I screw up so many different things. Anyway, I'm extremely impressed with the FPS. That is awesome. This run went smooth as anything. My first run was terrible. It was like I was so disappointed in the first one, but so happy with this one here. Saving all the time certainly helps. But yeah, look, I'd say that like I was really expecting this to be one of these videos where I'm actually really slamming all the things that go wrong during the playthrough, but nothing went wrong in this recording. It all went wrong in my little test before I started recording. Anyway, guys, going to leave it there. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you next time.